begin on our backs here. Good. Feet flat on the floor. And roll the shoulders down the back, bringing the fingertips a little bit closer to the heels. Good. Closing your eyes. Just starting to wake up the body this morning. Maybe bring your feet about as wide as your mat. Good, so that they're parallel with one another. And drop your knees down to the right side here. Letting the right knee fall open and maybe pressing that left knee down a little bit more, finding a stretch in the front of that hip flexor. Good, and then inhale to bring both of your knees to center. On the next exhale, we're going to drop our knees down to the left side. So letting that left knee fall wide. Maybe pressing that right knee down a little bit more. Good, feeling a nice stretch through the front of the right hip flexor. And a big inhale back to center. And exhale, drop it down to the right. We're going to do a few more of these flows. Just seeing if there's any extra sticky spots in our hips today. Inhale, center. Exhale, drop them to the left. It's early, 7 a.m., so we might have a little extra tension just from the way that we slept. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Good. So just noticing where we're holding tension or tightness in the body. Good. Inhale. And last one, down to the left. Good. And as you twist, I want you to see if you can keep your back flat on the floor, as flat as it can go. So not really twisting through that back. Good. Inhale to center, hugging the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little back massage, rocking side to side. And then dropping those feet back on the floor. This time we're going to bring our thumbs toward the sky, pinkies toward the ground. Hands are parallel with one another. We're going to inhale and bring our fingertips toward the sky. Good. See if you can roll your shoulders forward, reaching toward the ceiling. On the next exhale, we're going to drop our thumbs down to the ground over our head. And if you're tight in the shoulders, this might look more like a Y than an I, and that's okay. Good, really reaching without allowing our shoulders to crunch up into our ears. So tucking the shoulders down into your back pockets. Good, inhale, bring the fingertips toward the sky. And exhale, dropping the pinkies down to either sides of your hips. And we're going to go through a few rotations of that as well. Big inhale, fingertips toward the sky, reaching the fingertips. Feel a stretch between your shoulder blades. Good, and exhale, dropping the thumbs down to the ground, way over your head. See if you can reach while keeping those shoulders pulled into your back pockets. Good, find the difference in that stretch when you're not crunching up into your ears. Inhale, coming up toward the sky. And exhale, dropping the pinkies down to either side of your hips. Good, 2 more rounds of breath on your own time. Open your mouth to exhale. Drop comfortably on either side of your hips. And bringing the feet together, we're going to let both hips drop open. And if you like, you can place both of your hands on the inner thigh to just add a little bit more weight and putting out through the hips. Gentle wake up this morning, shoulders and hips. Good. And as you inhale, see if you can find a little bit more space in your hips. And as you exhale, see if you can drop those knees down just a little bit further. Keeping the belly firm so we're not arching that low back. Last breath here. Good. On the next inhale, we're going to roll over. So bring the left knee over to meet the right, rolling over onto our right hand side, and slowly making our way up into a seated position. Good. So this can look like kneeling, or this can look like sitting just like I am, crisscross. Give the shoulders a nice big roll down and back. And do one more big inhale. And exhale, let it go. And on the next inhale, we're going to reach the fingertips toward the sky. Again, remembering to tuck those shoulders down. Good. Dropping the right hand down toward the mat and clasping your right finger with your left fingertips. Or sorry, your left ear. Rights and lefts of body parts. Good. On the next inhale, we're going to sit nice and tall. And on the next exhale, we're going to bring left ear to left shoulder. Good. And we're not pulling here. We're just applying a little bit of pressure to aid that ear toward the shoulder. Good. Maybe you bring your gaze a little bit higher up toward the ceiling. Change the angle of that stretch ever so slightly. Good. Maybe you press the heel of your hand closer toward your mat. Good. Inhale, find a little bit more space between your ear and your shoulder. And exhale, see if you can drop it down just a little bit more. Good. On the next inhale, we're going to walk your left fingertips toward the back of your head this time. Again, just changing the angle of that stretch, so bringing your nose toward your left shoulder. Good. Still pressing the heel of that hand in toward the ground. Finding any spots of tension in your shoulders and seeing if you can just breathe a little bit more space into those areas. And next inhale, let it go. Shake your head no, nod your head yes. Good. Inhale, reaching the fingertips once more toward the sky. Good. Dropping the right hand down and interlacing the fingertips over the left ear. Good. Big inhale. And exhale, applying just a little bit of pressure toward your head, pressing the left heel of your hand down and toward the mat. And breathing some space into the left side of your neck. And exhale, see if you can make that a little bit deeper, pressing that hand down. You might notice one side is a little bit tighter than the other. Good. Dropping those shoulders down. Don't let that right shoulder creep up toward your ear. On the next inhale, we're going to bring our right fingertips toward the back of the head, bringing the nose toward the right shoulder. And continue pressing through that left hand. Just changing it up a little bit, finding some space in our neck. Sitting up nice and tall. Good, and releasing both hands down toward the ground. Again, shaking your head no, nodding yes, maybe doing some circles. Good, bringing the heels of your hands behind your bum, pressing the hands in toward the mat, and just let your head drop back, chin toward the sky. Letting go of any extra tension. Good, coming out of that posture and finding our way onto all fours. Tucking the toes underneath the heels and stacking the wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Good. Tucking the tailbone ever so slightly, tucking the shoulders into the back pockets and firming up the belly. So we're not arching here, but we're not tucking here. I want a neutral spine. Good. On the next inhale, I want you to tuck your chin, round the back, press the hands into the ground, pressing all 10 fingertips and tenting the palms of the hands to protect your wrists. Tuck the tailbone here and arch like an angry cat. So big inhale, big space between the shoulder blades, actively pressing, pulling the belly in toward the spine. And on the next exhale, we're going to drop the belly down. Tuck the shoulders into the back pockets, lift the chest, look toward the sky, and arch your tailbone toward the sky as well. Good, dropping the belly down, feeling a deep stretch in your abdominals. Good, for cow. Next inhale, we're arching the back, rolling the shoulders forward, pressing into the hands, tucking the tailbone. And on the next exhale, we're dropping the belly down, tucking the shoulders into the back pockets, looking up toward the sky, lifting the heart, arching the back. Good. 4 more rounds of breath just on your own time. Big inhale for cat. Exhale, cow. And when you exhale, make it audible. Last one. Good. Find your way into a tabletop position. Rolling side to side. Maybe look at your bum over your shoulder. Finding a stretch into your side body. Good. Before placing your right hand underneath your sternum, so the center of your chest, and reaching high on the inhale toward the sky with your left hand, opening up through the T-spine. So rather than craning through your shoulder and your neck, I want you to see if you can bring your heart toward the front of the room, pressing into your right hand. Good. Hips stay level here. Gaze is over the left thumb. And on the next exhale, I want you to reach your left fingertips underneath your right arm and drop the left shoulder toward the ground. Good. This might be enough of a stretch for you today. If you'd like a little extra, you can walk your right fingertips overhead here. Good. Looking at your left thumb, maybe you walk your left fingertips a little bit further forward. And for a little extra juicy stretch, you can press the back of your hand into the floor, opening up through the shoulder blades. Stay here for 4 more breaths. As you inhale, see if you can find a bit more space in your upper back between the shoulder blades. And as you exhale, see if you can roll the left shoulder a little further forward and open up a little bit more. And slow, deep breaths. And on the next inhale, we're going to bring our right hand underneath our right shoulder. Good, and open up the left fingertips toward the sky once more. Good, finally dropping it down. Good, on the next inhale, bringing the left hand underneath the chest. Good, and we're going to open up right fingertips this time toward the sky. Good, pressing into that left hand, gaze is over the right thumb. And we're not twisting through the shoulders or the neck, we're rotating through the mid-back here, opening up your heart toward the back of the room this time. Or the side of the room, depending on where you are. And on the next exhale, we're gonna sweep the left fingertips underneath, the right fingertips underneath the left, dropping the right shoulder down toward the mat. Good, and this might be enough of a stretch for you today. If you'd like a little extra, you can walk the left fingertips overhead here. Good, on the next inhale, you can walk your fingertips a little further forward. Exhale, let it go. If you'd like this to get a little bit more juicy, you can press the back of your hand into the floor, opening up a little bit more through the heart. Good, inhaling more space in that back shoulder. And exhale, a little bit more reach with that hand. Good, slow down your breathing. See if you can do a 4-second inhale and a 4-second exhale, calming that central nervous system. 2 more breaths here. Good, walking the left fingertips underneath the shoulder and pressing up so that the right fingertips come back toward the sky. Good, and then dropping the hand back down toward the mat. Good, tucking the toes, pressing into the toes, pressing into all 10 fingers. Bring the hips back into your first downward facing dog of the day, coming high on the toes, bringing the tailbone toward the sky. Spinning the biceps toward the front of the room, pressing into the fingertips to protect those wrists, and then dropping the heels down, keeping the bum nice and high. Melt your heart toward the mat. Tucking those shoulders back. Finding your breath once more. This is likely your first downward dog of the day. So maybe you pedal your feet back and forth to find extra space in the hamstrings and the calves and the ankles. Good, maybe walking the feet a little bit closer and seeing if you can drop those heels down onto the floor while keeping those hips high. Good, bending your knees, looking between your hands, and stepping or jumping to the top of your mat. Letting the head hang heavy, roll forward into your toes. Letting the hands hang, letting them touch the ground if you can reach, maybe placing them on the shins. And allow your head to become heavy. See if you can bring your head toward your toes here. On the inhale, see if you can become a little bit taller. And exhale, reaching the head a little bit closer to your toes. Inhale, a little bit taller. Longer through the spine. And exhale, head comes down toward your toes. Maybe you grab opposite elbows. Rock side to side. Find a little bit more space in the backs of those thighs. Staying forward on the toes, light on the heels. And letting the hands go, and inhale, pressing your feet in toward the mat, squeezing your bum, bringing the fingertips toward the sky. Good, and releasing the hands down into a prayer pose. Good, and release into Tadasana Mountain Pose. Rolling the shoulders down the back, tucking the tailbone, lifting through the chest and firming up the belly. We're nice and tall here. And we're going to start our sun salutations for this morning. Inhale, bringing the fingertips toward the sky. Lifting the thighs behind the knees, squeezing the bum. Good, and exhale to heart center. Inhale, reaching up toward the sky, squeezing the bum, thumbs come toward the back wall, tiny back bend, lifting the chest. And exhale, hands come down toward the mat. Inhale, hands on the thighs or the shins, halfway lift, bringing the crown of the head toward the front of the room, shoulders come back, belly is firm. And exhale, palms come down toward the mat. Inhale, right leg steps back into a long lunge. Chest is lifted, looking toward the sky, shoulders are back. And exhale, left leg steps back into a plank. Inhale, slowly lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Exhale, untap the toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg steps back or forward. Exhale, left leg steps forward. Inhale, reaching the fingertips toward the sky, squeezing the bum, lifting the chest, and exhale, palms come down to heart center. And release. Inhale, reaching toward the sky. And exhale, palms come down to heart center. Inhale, reaching the fingertips behind you, tiny back bend, squeezing the bum, lifting the chest. And exhale, palms come down toward the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands come to the thighs or the shins. Crown of the head toward the front of the room, shoulders are back, belly is firm, and exhale, fully fold. Inhale, left leg steps back into a long lunge, lifting through the chest, gazes forward and up, shoulders are back. Exhale, right leg steps back into a plank, spinning the elbows toward your ribs, biceps toward the front of the room, shoulders are back, pressing into all 10 fingertips. Slowly lower down. Exhale and tuck the toes. Inhale, pushing up into upward facing dog, squeezing the bum, shoulders are back, lifting through the chest. Good, exhale, tucking the toes, sending the hips back into downward facing dog. Good, inhale, left leg steps forward. Exhale, right leg steps forward. Inhale, palms come up toward the sky. And exhale, palms come down to heart center. And release. Good, we're going to speed that one up a little bit more next time. Inhale, palms come toward the sky. And exhale, palms come down to heart center. Inhale, tiny back bend. And exhale, palms come down toward the mat. And inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fully folds. Inhale, right leg steps back. Exhale, left leg steps back. Inhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Exhale, untuck the toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg steps forward. Exhale, left leg steps forward. Inhale, reaching the fingertips up toward the sky, tiny back bend, and exhale, palms come down to heart center. And release. Good, inhale, fingertips toward the sky, and exhale, hands come down to heart center. Inhale, tiny back bend, squeeze the bum, lift the chest, thumbs come behind you, and exhale, fully fold, palms down toward the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fully fold. Inhale, left leg steps back. Exhale, right leg steps back. Inhale, slowly lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Untuck the toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg steps forward. Exhale, right leg steps forward. Inhale, reach the palms overhead, fingertips toward the sky, tiny back bend. And exhale, palms come down to heart center. And then release. Inhale, reaching the fingertips toward the sky. And exhale, bringing the palms down toward the mat. Inhale, jumping back into a plank pose or stepping back. And exhale to downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, bringing the right leg toward the sky for three-legged dog. Good, and exhale, bringing the right foot down toward the ground behind you, opening up that right knee toward the sky, feeling a nice big stretch in the right side of the body, pressing the right hand in toward the mat and letting that right hip open up toward the sky. Good. If this is feeling good for you and you're feeling a little bit brave, you can drop that right foot down right behind you and open up for a wild thing. Squeezing the bum, bringing the hips toward the sky, reaching behind you with that right hand. Good. Should feel a glorious stretch through the right hip flexor. Pressing that left hand in toward the mat. And if you'd like to come out of this in an easier way, you can drop that bum down. Good. Bring the feet in nice and close. Kick off this right foot and bring right hand toward the mat, left leg toward the sky. Good. On the next inhale, right knee comes toward right elbow. Good. Inhale, kick it back. Good. Exhale, right knee comes toward right elbow. Good, and exhale, kick it back. This time, right foot comes to the outside of the right pinky. Good, and drop that left knee down. Untuck the toes of the left foot. Bring the left hand toward the center of your body. Good, and open up the right fingertips toward the sky for Twisted Lizard. Good, if you've got any shoulder issues, you can always drop that right hand down toward the low back. We're opening up through the chest here. Additionally, if it feels comfortable for you, you can bring the right hand to the right knee and open up through that hip, bringing the hips a little bit closer toward the mat. Good, we're hanging out here for a little while, so find a spot that feels comfortable for you. Good, maybe come out onto the knife edge of that right foot and come right down onto your elbows. Finding some space in that right hip. If that's not available for you, you can always bring both hands underneath your shoulders. Come back into that twist. Wherever you're hanging out here, find a spot that's getting into any stickiness that you have in your hips. This should feel pretty juicy, but not painful. Exercise and movement, yoga included, should always feel a little bit uncomfortable, should always push your boundaries, but never feel painful. If you're on the knife edge of that right foot, get it flat on the floor. We're going to tuck the left toes, lift that left knee, and kick that right foot back into our three-legged dog. Good, letting that right foot come down, pedaling out the feet, noticing a difference on either side of your hip. Good. Dropping those heels down. Inhale, bringing the left foot up this time. Good. Pressing the right foot in toward the mat. Left foot comes high. Bend the knee and open up toward the left side of the room. Good, feeling a nice big stretch through the left side of the body, pressing the chest down toward the mat, pressing the left hand in toward the ground, and drop that left foot even closer toward the ground. And if you're feeling brave, you can drop that left foot down, come into full expression of Wild Thing, pressing into both feet here, pelvis comes toward the sky, reaching up overhead with the left hand, pressing into the right hand, squeezing the bum. Nice juicy stretch in the left hip flexor. Finding our breath here. Dropping those hips down. Walk the feet in a little bit closer and kick off the left foot this time. Left hand comes down toward the mat. Left leg comes high into three-legged dog. Good, inhale, bringing the left knee to left elbow. And exhale back into three-legged dog. Good. Inhale, left knee to left elbow, working the core here. And exhale, bring that left leg high. Good. Inhale, this time stepping the left foot to the outside of the left pinky. Drop that right knee down. Right hand comes under the chest. Left hand is opening up toward the sky. Good, untuck those toes. Melt those hips down and toward the mat. Again, if you have shoulder issues, drop that hand down to your low back. If it feels good for you today, you can also press left hand to left knee and open up that knee toward the side. Good, remembering to press into that right hand, opening up the chest toward the side of the room. Good, inhale, finding space in the pelvis. And exhale, see if you can melt those hips a little bit closer toward the ground. Good, spend some time here, hanging out here. If you'd like a little bit deeper, maybe you come on the knife edge of that left foot and drop the elbows down toward the mat. Finding your breath here. And any expression of this posture that feels good in your body, that's getting all of those tight spots in your hips. That's what that's gonna look like today. So maybe you're up here. Maybe you like the twist. And hanging out in lizard pose to find some space in those hips. Good, imagining that your pelvis is full of sand. It's heavy toward the mat. Good, coming off of the knife edge of that left foot if you're on it, and heel toe that foot back in. Tucking the right toes and lifting the knee. Pressing into all 10 fingers. And bringing that left leg back into your three-legged dog. Good. Bringing that foot back down. Find your down dog. Again, pressing into all 10 fingertips. Let those shoulders come down your back. Good. On the next inhale, stepping forward with the right leg. And bringing all 10 fingertips toward the sky. Palms are facing one another. And bending deep into that front knee. Good, high lunge, crescent lunge. Firming the back leg. Tucking the tailbone, protect that low back. Lifting through the heart, shoulders are down, gaze is up. Good, dropping that back foot down. So that it's parallel with the mat, and opening up into warrior two. So right toes are toward the front of the room. Left foot is parallel with the back of your mat. Finding balance between the two legs, pressing into both feet equally. Feeling those glutes turn on. Rolling the shoulders down and back, lifting the chest, and gaze comes over the right middle finger. Take a couple seconds to breathe. Inhale, reaching the fingertips toward the sky and unbend that front leg. And exhale, opening up once more. Okay, bringing the feet just a little bit closer together. Good, and reaching the right fingertips toward the front of the room. Opening up the palms toward the front here. And dropping the right fingertips toward the toes. Reaching through the left fingertips for a triangle. Good, gaze is over the left thumb here. Opening up through the heart, relaxing the shoulders. Good, inhale, coming back up to warrior two. At this time, pointing all 10 toes toward the front of the room and finding about 2 feet distance between your legs. reaching up high and clasping all 10 fingertips, releasing the pointer fingers. So all 10 toes are pointed toward the front of the room. Square your hips. Good, and then bring your pointer fingers to meet your toe. Head comes toward the knee. Good, and if your head can't get toward your knee, bring your knee toward your head. It's okay to bend the leg here. Good, and once your forehead is on your knee, see if you can use your forehead to bring your knee back. Good. Maybe you need to bring your right hip back and your left hip forward just a little bit, squaring those hips toward the front of the room. And maybe bring your feet a little bit closer together, whatever feels best for you today. And then bringing the fingertips toward the sky. And releasing the hands down. Clasping all 10 fingers at your low back. All 10 toes come toward the long side of your mat. Good. And bringing the feet about as wide as you can, just a little bit less than your widest. And I want you to pigeon your toes, so point your toes a little bit toward each other. Good. Squeezing your bum, lifting through the heart, and I want you to bring your head towards your mat while simultaneously pressing your knuckles toward the back of the room. So it'll look just like this. And rolling forward onto your toes. And if you'd like a little bit more stretch in your shins, see if you can bring your heels out even a little bit wider, bringing the toes in just a bit more. Eventually getting your head onto your mat and your knuckles onto the ground behind it. Someday. Maybe not today. Good. Noticing any spots that you're holding tension, and see if you can breathe into those areas and let it all go. Good. Inhale, squeeze your bum, squeeze your core, lift the chest to a standing position. Good. And then spinning, letting your hands go and spinning the left toes toward the front of your mat, keeping the right foot parallel with your mat and opening up into your warrior two on the other side. See what I did there? Good. Tucking your tailbone, lifting the chest, gaze is over the left fingertips, sinking deep into your left knee, pressing into both feet, so both legs, both glutes are active. Good. Tuck your tailbone, firm your belly. Take 2 more breaths here. Good. Inhale, reach all 10 fingers toward the sky. Unbend the front leg. Good. And then opening up the hands once more. Palms come toward the front of the room and reach forward. Good. Through the left fingertips. Left fingertips to left toes, right fingertips toward the sky, opening up for triangle. Coming out of that posture, reaching the fingertips toward the sky and spinning all 10 toes toward the left side of the room. Good, interlacing all 10 fingers, except for the pointer fingers. Feet come about 2 feet apart. Good, and then bring your forehead toward your knee, fingertips toward the toes. Good, and if your head can't meet the knee, see if you can make the knee meet the head. Right hip comes forward, left hip comes back, and use your forehead to press the knee back ever so slightly. And squeezing the thighs together to square the hips toward the front of the room. Good, 4 breaths here. Good, shoulders come back. Trying to get that front leg as straight as possible while keeping the forehead on the knee. Reaching the fingertips toward the sky once more. Spinning all 10 toes toward the long edge of your mat. And bringing the feet nice and wide. Good, this time bringing the heels out wide and interlacing all 10 fingers behind your back. Good. Dropping your forehead toward the mat while bringing your knuckles up toward the ceiling. Forward fold. Good. Rolling forward into the toes. Good, and now releasing the hands down toward the mat. Good, and walking your fingertips toward the right foot. Good, keep that toe pigeon. Find a nice deep stretch in the outside of your shin. Rolling forward into the toes. Allowing the head to feel heavy. Resting into that right foot. Actively engaging the right hamstring, right calf. Good. Walking the hands over toward the left side. And again, rolling forward, noticing the difference on either side. If you want more in the shin, bring your heel out a bit wider, pigeon the toe. Good, rolling forward onto the toes. See if you can bring that head right to your left big toe. Pressing into the left foot, active through the backs of the legs. Center, heel toe the feet so that they're about shoulder distance apart, maybe a little bit outside. Good, hook your elbows into your knees and bring your palms to heart center, drop the bum down for your yogi squat. Good, see if you can drop that bum nice and low. Good, using the elbows maybe to bring the knees nice and wide. Noticing how different foot positions change the angle of the stretch. So maybe having the toes straight ahead feels better. Maybe having them nice and wide allows your hips to come even lower. Good, so find a spot that works for your body in this posture and just hang out here. Good, lifting through the chest. Relaxing those shoulders down, the crown of the head comes up toward the sky, dropping the bum down. Good, pressing the feet in toward the mat, activating through the glutes. Try not to make this a passive posture. Strengthening the muscles that allow you to stay here for a little bit longer. Three more breaths. Engage your core. Good. Dropping the hands down toward the mat. Good. Heel toe the feet together. Good. Before making your way onto your back. Taking these last few moments here to bring your knees side to side. Notice anything different from the beginning of class. Maybe hug your knees into your chest and give yourself a back massage. Taking any posture that feels good for you right now. Anything that your body needs. Before finding your way into whatever you choose as your final Shavasana posture. So that could look like feet together with your toes falling slightly open. And maybe your knuckles are on the ground, hands are open in a receiving position. Good. Maybe you like to have your feet wide because you've got lots of space because we're not in a cramped yoga class. Lucky us, we get to practice from our living room floor, fresh from bed maybe, depending what time you're watching this. Good. Tucking the shoulders down the back, allowing some space between your shoulders and your ears. Maybe windshield wiper the feet back and forth and see if you can find some more space in your hip socket. Good. Tucking the tailbone, releasing some pressure from the low back. Good. Taking a deep breath, filling up the back body. Feeling a stretch between the shoulder blades. Good. Feel your belly expand and stretch the abdominals. Good. And exhale. Let it all go. And take these moments here to notice your breath. Concentrating on the way that it feels for air to move slowly in and out of your body, in through your nose. A gentle rise of your chest when that happens. And imagining all of that delicious oxygen making its way through your body, nourishing your blood, nourishing your brain, dancing around in all your cells. Good, and dusting off all of the old breath, collecting it all so that it can exhale through your mouth. Imagine that every breath in is cleansing. As we exhale, we're getting rid of all of the dust bunnies. Thinking of the breath as an experience of the body. And just practice being present for that experience. take a few minutes of silence here, and if you notice that your mind is wandering, find your way back to your breath. Find your way back to this experience of filling your body with fresh energy. And disposing of anything that is making us feel heavy or dusty. Beginning to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Good, maybe hugging the knees in towards your chest. Good. Maybe you windshield wiper the knees. Maybe reaching the fingertips overhead, dropping the thumbs down once more, noticing a little extra space in those shoulders from this morning. Before rolling over onto your right side and making your way into a seated position. Thank you for joining me for Wednesday yoga, or if you're watching this on a recording, for whatever day yoga, whatever time yoga. We'll see you next week. Namaste.